Welcome back, my little nightmares. Me, Queen Nightmare. Chapter 4. Drinking games and being exposed. Author's note. Be ready for drunk people. By the way, I know Harry loses the ability to speak to snakes after he dies, but I don't care. So he's gonna talk to snakes. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, because he's not technically Voldemort anymore. Okay, yeah, I get it. The weeks went by, and classes ensued, as usual. The trio, plus Draco, Neville, and Luna, went on Hogsmeade trips together and spent time at the Three Broomsticks. The group had just gotten back from the Hogsmeade trip on a Sunday, and the group was lounging around in the common room. I brought some rum and whiskey, Dean and Seamus shouted as they walked through the door. The group looked at them confused. Not for long if you keep on yelling about it, Harry told them. Dean and Seamus widened their eyes and looked back behind the door they just came through. Don't worry, no one's in the hall. Now. Don't worry, no one's in the hall. Now, let's get this party started, Seamus exclaimed. Dean took the bag of alcohol and walked in front of the fireplace. He cleared his throat. Today, I will read off our selection of rums and whiskeys. Okay. He said in a fake posh voice. Okay, here we go. Today, we have fire whiskey, dragon barrel, brandy, mead, and single malt whiskey. Well, I know Fireball. Fire whiskey. Isn't it just called Fireball? What the fuck is this? Okay, sorry, no offense.
Anything can be Fireball, as long as you have a match.
Boom! Okay, Dean finished, and Seamus held the bottles and displayed them on the ground. The group laughed a little. Okay, enough fucking around. Let's drink, Seamus concluded. He took out some plastic cups and poured everyone their preferred beverage. Ron took fire whiskey. Hermione got mead. Mead. I've never heard of mead. I heard of mead. I never heard of mead. Yeah, that too. Harry got dragon barrel brandy. Draco got single malt whiskey. Neville also got mead, and Luna chose a mixture between everything except mead. Hey, she like me. I like mixing things. Mead attracts bargles, because that's not burgles, it's bargles. Mm-hmm. And Luna's was Luna's excuse. Everyone laughed a little and drank. Somewhere along the way, Neville stood up and proposed a game. Okay, so we finished
Neville's
off.
There?
Yeah. Neville, Luna, Draco, this is a whole different story, too.
Oh.
Yeah. And Neville's also in the other story as well, but he's
Oh no, I just never thought he would
be drinking. Yeah. Well, this is after the war as well. So he grew a pair of balls afterwards.
Oh.
Remember when he killed the basilisk? Oh, no, Snake. Just Snake. It was Naveen, right? Whatever the frick his name was, the snake's name was.
Wait, what story is this?
This is the last year.
And he's shipping, that's...
Drarry.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, okay, so we finished off the brandy. Well, damn, you guys just drank quick, don't ya? Neville started. Harry just kicked his head back. Whoo! Bloody hell, he said. It was Harry's favorite. Oh, no. Neville laughed and continued. We should play Truth or Dare. Oh no! Never play Truth or Dare drunk. But Muggle since they're blown out our sockets. What? Neville said. He too drunk to make sentences, I'm guessing. Neville said. He sat down and grabbed the empty bottle and laid it on its side. Everyone scooted around the bottle to make a circle. Neville spun it and waited for it to stop. It landed on Hermione. Truth or Dare?
A- in geometry.
What?
I got an A-.
What? How? It said a B, a solid B.
I know, but in Infinite Campus it says an A-.
Huh. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It landed on Hermione. Truth or dare, she said. She was really tipsy. No, I ask you that. And you pick, Neville corrected. Hermione drank to that. Well, then go on, Hermione giggled. I'm just giggling because I can imagine this happening. Then go on, Hermione giggled. Truth or dare, he asked. Hermione put on a thinking face. Truth, she exclaimed. She nearly fell over. Neville thought. Who do you like? He settled on. Hermione sputtered. Well, I like everyone here. I love you guys. You know that. Hermione pointed to everyone. I especially love Ron. He's a good kisser. Oh. But don't tell him I said so. She put her fingers to her lips as to say quiet. And even though Ron was sitting right next to her. They're already dating at this point, but it's funny just the same. Everyone laughed and Ron hit his face with his hands. Hermione grabbed the bottle and spun it while making an ooh noise as it spun. It landed on Draco. Truth or dare, she exclaimed happily. Draco hesitated. Dare, he answered, and she thought for a moment. I got it. I dare you to sit on Harry's lap for the rest of the game, she cackled. Draco blushed, but Harry was too drunk to even be embarrassed at this point. He crisscrossed his legs and patted them. Draco sighed and climbed into his lap. Draco wrapped his arms around Draco's waist lazily. Draco took the bottle and spun it. It landed on Luna. Truth or dare? Draco asked. And Luna threw her hands up in the air. Dare! She yelled happily. Draco grabbed the empty bottle of mead and handed it to her. I dare you to chug the entire bottle of mead. Draco smirked. Luna sighed and took the bottle. Fine, but don't blame me if I start to sleepwalk. Luna warned. She took the bottle and started to chug. Everyone chanted, chug, 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 until she finished the bottle. When she finished, she replaced the brandy bottle with the mead bottle. She handed Harry the empty brandy bottle. Here you go, Harry, Luna said. Harry's eyes widened. He took the bottle and hugged it. Although he still had his arms around Draco, so he hugged both of them. I mean, I have two of my favorite people here. My alcohol and my person. Okay, everyone giggled at how frustrated Draco looked. Luna took the bottle and spun it again. It landed on Hermione again. But before Luna could ask truth or dare, Hermione fell backwards and passed out.
She said, ooh,
my turn. Boom. Luna took the bottle and moved it over to the left, where Harry and Draco sat. Truth or dare, Harry? Luna asked. Dare, Harry said. The bottle of brandy was sitting on Draco's lap, while Draco sat in Harry's lap. Luna, 1, 2, 3. Luna pulled a stick of lipstick out of her pocket. I dare you to go to your dorm, make out with Draco for 5 minutes. And to prove you made out, you have to wear this lipstick so we can see where you kissed him. Like here? She said make out, but she didn't say where. She didn't say which head.
And if it was a girl, she didn't say which
lips. Hey! We're such bad influences.
Don't listen to us.
Don't listen to us. Literally, my age range for these type is 13 to 17. We're so screwed. I'm so sorry for you to listen to this.
Just pretend we're of age of drinking.
Yeah. Don't, yeah. Yeah, we're bad examples. Don't do that. Luna said she scooted over to Harry and applied light blue lipstick. Oh, light blue. I like the sound of that for some reason on him. Everyone laughed at how ridiculous he looked. I feel pretty, Harry said drunkenly. He put one arm under Draco's leg and another around his back. Oh, Draco's legs, not legs, so it would look stupid. But legs and another around his back. Picked him up and carried him to their room. Everyone whistled as Harry carried Draco bridal style to the room and closed the doors. Ooh!
Really? Bridal style?
Oh, yeah, bridal style. Like you.
Yeah, I know what bridal style is.
Harry kicked the door closed and threw Draco onto the bed. Oh, gosh. Hey,
wow, that's aggression.
Harry climbed on top of Draco and wrapped his legs around Harry's waist. Ooh. He into it, too. They too drunk for this. Like, people should take pictures of them in the morning. I'm glad he couldn't hear that. Because my teacher just came on my computer. He can't hear us. Remember, we using the other Google... Oh. I went to the wrong Google Meet link. Whoops. Okay. Sorry.
Rest in pieces.
I'm a dumbass. I forgot.
Imagine if he heard this entire thing.
That would be so
Is it still Dr.
sucky.
Stiletto?
No.
Okay, good. Because then Elena would have been in that class and she would have heard the entire thing.
She's in this class too.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. If you don't know who Elena is, she's been on my YouTube channel before, and we're not going to say her name.
She's a bitch.
Oh. Language, child.
They're already old enough. They've heard worse.
Probably. My mom said the C word to her boss once. I was so happy she did, because she was one.
I think my insults have gotten ruthless. And I don't even think of what I'm saying before I say it. It just happens.
No. We'll be back in a second. Hold on. Back. And, well, I don't remember where we stopped, so we're gonna go back to it. Harry kicked the door closed and threw Draco onto his bed. Harry climbed on top of Draco, and Draco wrapped his legs around Harry's waist. Harry smirked and started to kiss and bite Draco on the neck and collarbone. How big does this go to? Please don't tell me it goes there. It doesn't. Okay. Draco moaned with pleasure. Harry started to kiss his way up Draco's neck and finally got his lips. Harry made out with Draco, blue lipstick going everywhere. Harry slipped his tongue into Draco's mouth, making him gasp. Harry explored Draco's mouth with his tongue, and soon Draco tried to fight for dominance. Their tongues fought and twisted. After a minute, Draco gave up and let Harry dominate. 5 minutes was up, and Harry stopped kissing Draco. He smiled and picked Draco up again, bridal style, and carried him back to the group. Everyone laughed at them as they walked back to the group. Harry plopped down, and Draco stayed on his lap. Draco had blue lipstick smudges all over his neck and all around his mouth. Harry's mouth had it smeared around. Ron was desperately trying to wake up Hermione from her alcohol-induced sleep, but she wouldn't budge. Luna pulled out a camera, that's what I would do, and quickly shot a photo of the two. She grabbed the Polaroid and shook it so it would develop. I'm going to hang this up in my room, Luna laughed. Harry took the bottle proudly and spun it. It landed in between Dean and Seamus. Truth or dare? Harry asked. They both said dare. I dare you two to make out. Here, right now. Harry dared. Dean shrugged at his shoulders and jumped onto Seamus, making out with him. Oh shit! Ron yelled. Neville giggled. What good would that do? They're dating already, Neville said. Really? I never knew, Harry said. All right. Quit it. We don't want to see you two lose your virginities, Harry said. Dean wiped his mouth and got off Seamus. Who said we were still virgins? Dear fucking word. Oh. Give me patience, please. Seamus smacked his arm and blushed. Fucking hell! We didn't need to know that, Draco said. Everyone was just about done with the game. Luna slung Hermione over her shoulder and slung Hermione over her shoulder and carried her to their room. Ron and Neville slung their arms around each other's necks and shakily walked to their room. Dean and Seamus, probably the least affected of the group, went to their rooms completely fine. Harry and Draco helped each other walk to their room, exhausted. They both flopped down on Harry's bed and immediately fell asleep. Come morning, Harry woke up with a whole bunch of hair in his face. He blew the hair away and opened his eyes. Harry groaned from the pulsating headache and tried to sit up. He was being weighed down by something. He heard another groan. The weight shifted. He looked down and he was met face to face with Draco. Draco sprawled out between Draco's legs, and his face was on Draco's chest. No, Harry's chest. What the heck? Harry's chest. Harry screamed, which startled Draco, and he fell off from the foot of the bed. Are you okay? Harry exclaimed. He scrambled to the edge of the bed and looked at Draco on the floor. He just groaned and rubbed his head. That definitely did not help my headache, Draco groaned. Harry got off the bed and offered Draco his hand. Draco took it and stood up. Harry turned the lights on and looked around. Why am I in jeans? He looked at Draco. And why are you covered in blue smudges? Harry asked. The realization hit Harry in the face. All the memories flooded back to him, and he turned away, blushing a crimson red. Draco walked to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. Is this a hickey? Draco said. Memories flooded back, and he quietly said, "Oh shit." He peeled off his clothes and jumped into the shower. Harry took a look at himself in the mirror and immediately disrobed and climbed into the shower. The two furiously scrubbed at the lipstick smudges. Bro, that's gonna be hard to get off. Depends on the lipstick too. Until there was no more residue. They awkwardly climbed out of the shower, towels around their waists, and started their morning routine. They winced in the bright light, and Harry flicked the light off. They both sighed. They had just enough light from the morning shining through the window that they were able to fix their hair decently. I think that's what it meant. And brushed their teeth. They avoided eye contact and got dressed. Draco looked in the mirror after getting dressed and saw more hickeys. Where the fuck did you put all the hickeys, my dude? It was a line of purple-blue splotches running up his neck. He rummaged through the drawer and pulled out his Slytherin scarf. That works. He wrapped it around his neck in a bunch and made sure the hickeys couldn't be seen. Harry grabbed a pair of dark-tinted sunglasses, and put them on on. Draco followed his lead and put on a pair of dark sunglasses. They left the dorm to head down to breakfast. What you should have done is ask Hermione for some makeup and then just covered the shit up. But then again, he's a different skin color than Hermione. But it doesn't matter. It works. When they got there, everyone else was already sitting down, lazily eating. They all noticed Harry and Draco sit down and started to make ooh noises, but failed when their headaches made them stop. Shut up, Harry grumbled. Draco and him grabbed the most greasy foods on the table, and they filled their plate. It consisted of a crap ton of bacon, fried ham, and sausage. Once everyone was done eating, they all headed to class. Granted, they did get some odd looks through the day. The majority of the group wore sunglasses and spoke quietly. It was until they got to the care of magical beast when things went wrong. Hello, class. Today we'll be learning about mermaids. Since the dungeon's been flooded, the mermaids have moved in. Everyone, go back to your dorms, grab a bathing suit, and meet me in the dungeons. Hagrid said. Everyone went back to their dorms and grabbed their bathing suits. No! Draco can't swim. He has the hickeys. Have a turtleneck shirt. Then you can with it and then have some trunks on the bottom. Draco and Harry were silently freaking out on the way to their dorms. What the hell am I going to do? Even if I wear a shirt, they're going to see the marks, Draco yelled, frustrated once they got to the dorms. Harry wasn't freaking out as badly, but he was worried. I don't know, and could you please stop yelling? I'm getting dizzy from all this noise, Harry said quietly. Draco huffed and changed into his swim trunks and found a swim shirt. It didn't completely cover the marks. He and Harry left the dorm and immediately ran to Hermione and Luna's room and knocked on the door. Hermione, let me in, quick, Draco pleaded. The door creaked open a little, and Luna poked her head out instead. What do you need? She asked, and Draco showed her the mark. I need concealer, he pleaded. Luna opened the door and let Draco in. Harry waited by the door. Luna wore a black one-piece suit. Hermione must have left already. Luna sat Draco on the bed, and she disappeared to the bathroom to get some concealer. Thankfully, they were about the same shade. Give me a moment, Luna said. She quickly put a whole bunch of concealer on all the marks and covered it in powder. Draco and Luna exited the room, and Draco gave Harry a thumbs up. We're good, he said, and they walked down the dungeons quickly. When they got there, they saw Hermione and Ron. Hermione wore a red two-piece suit. She looked embarrassed. They all got closer to Hagrid and listened. All right, then. Today we'll be swimming with the mermaids. I talked to them, and they will let us catalog them. You need to measure the lengths of their tails and record everything you see on them. Then for homework, you got to look up their tail details and write what each part does. I put a charm on the parchment papers so they don't get wet. I found some neat muggle quills so that ya can write underwater. Everyone is gonna get some gillweed. It'll last an hour. When it runs out, you need to surface. Hagrid said. He handed everyone a piece of wet-proof parchment, a muggle pen, and a handful of gillweed. Just eat the gillweed and jump in, Hagrid finished. And Harry immediately ate his gillweed and jumped into the water. Everyone waited anxiously to see him surface. After a moment, he poked his face out of the water and left his gillweed under the water. He raised a webbed hand and motioned for everyone to come in. He then dove under the water and started the swim. Soon, more and more people jumped into the water. Everyone started to swim down the hall. They could see Snape's classroom under the water. Harry stopped and swam in the classroom. He looked around, but it was too dark. He pulled out his wand and tried to say Loomis. Only bubbles escaped his mouth. Harry pocketed his wand and left the classroom. He continued and looked around. He saw a hole in the hall, and he swam through, and saw sunlight shining from the surface. It looked like this is what flooded the dungeon. He swam around and saw the other classmates. There were mermaids everywhere, and students were measuring and documenting the mermaids. Soon the mermaid swam to Harry. The mermaid held its tail to Harry. Harry pulled its tape, measured it, and quickly measured it. Then he started to draw out the mermaid. All the little details he thought would be important to know. The mermaid moved the paper so it could see the drawing. Harry heard it release a happy sound, or at least Harry thought it was happy. It then swam to its other friends and let other students document it. Harry had a lot of time to kill, so he ended up swimming around the shallow part of the Great Lake. He put some empty bottles laying around, probably from the potions classroom. Harry decided to start heading back to Hagrid. He swam fast and got to the surface. Unable to still breathe, he just floated on his back and waited for the gillweed to stop working. After 20 minutes of floating around, he felt his gills go away. He took a small breath of air to test it out. Finally, Harry said, exasperated. He climbed out of the water and joined a couple of other students who were warming up next to a floating piece of burning paper. One by one, his group emerged from the water and tried warming themselves up with charms and fire. Harry just looked at Hermione when he heard Ron start laughing really hard. Harry and Hermione looked back and saw Draco exit. Oh no! He looked very confused. Why are you laughing? Draco asked. Ron just pointed at his own neck. Draco started to panic and felt his neck. He pulled his fingers away and saw the concealer was running off. Harry and Hermione saw all the hickeys. So did everyone else. Harry freaked out and grabbed a piece of parchment laying around and handed it to Draco. Draco took it and covered his neck. Although he looked like an idiot doing so, Luna soon got out of the water and approached the group. Hermione and Ron were laughing. Draco was hiding behind Harry, and Harry was blushing a lot. Draco saw Luna, and his face turned into a frown. The damn makeup washed off. Well, no shit, dumbass. It's been an hour, Draco said. Everyone heard him and started to laugh. Luna giggled. You didn't think it was waterproof, did you? Makeup washes off in water, Luna giggled. Hagrid dismissed the students, and they all headed back to their dorms to shower and head to their next class. Harry and Draco quickly went to their dorms and took a shower and headed to Transfiguration. The group practically ran to Transfiguration to get there in time. They ran through the doors and took their seats. Draco wrapped his scarf around tightly and paid attention. Professor Agnes stood up and started to teach class. Today we will be doing a different type of transfiguration. You are familiar with changing live animals to objects, but today we will be turning objects to animals. I will let you choose what animal you would want to make. Professor Agnes said. She wrote an incantation on the board with a line at the end. She then drew out the wand movements. To specify what animal you want your goblet to become, you must say the animal after the incantation. Like so. Professor Agnes positioned herself next to the goblet. Turn into Hawk Cat, she said. She moved her wand about intricately and pointed it to the goblet. Soon the goblet sprung legs and fur, then a tail, and in a matter of seconds it looked like a normal cat. It sat there and looked at the class. And to revert it, just point your wand at the animal and say, revert to converte. She repeated the steps, and soon the cat turned back into a goblet. Once you have successfully transfigured your animal, please raise your hand so I can look at it. Professor Agnes finished. She sent goblets to each student, and they started. Hermione transfigured her goblet into a bird, but its beak was made out of metal. She reverted it back and tried again. Draco successfully transfigured his goblet into a panther. How big is that panther? How big is that goblet? Whatever. Professor Agnes quickly ran over and inspected it. Beautiful! Now revert it back before it eats someone's animal, she said quickly. Draco reverted the panther back into a goblet, although it had a black fur tail. Harry transfigured his white goblet into a snake. The snake was pure white. The red eyes, it looked at him and tried to slither away. Harry panicked and tried to grab the snake before it got away. Wait, come back! Harry exclaimed. The snake looked back at him and started to speak. You can speak, it said. Harry shook his head. Of course, I'm a parcel mouth, Harry said back. Harry forgot that other people couldn't understand him, and he continued to talk to the snake. Soon he caught the attention of the class. They watched him speak to the snake. Can you come back? If I lose you, I'll be in trouble, Harry reasoned. The snake nodded his head and up and down and slithered back to him, and the snake climbed up to him and wrapped around his arm. Do you have a name? Harry asked. How could I? I was only just now created, the snake said. Some of the students became a little scared and scooted their seats away from Harry. Harry grabbed the snake and placed him on the table. He raised his hand, and this professor went over to him. All right, now change it back to a goblet, she said. You could tell she wasn't a fan of snakes. I'm sorry. Harry apologized to the snake. Retorium sum corvette. Harry cast the spell, and it reverted back to a white goblet. The professor started to walk off, but Harry stopped her. Professor Agnes? Harry called. She turned back to him. Yes, what is it? The animal, the animals know who created them. How is that possible? Harry asked. She cocked her head. How do you know the animals know? She asked. Harry gave her a look. I just talked to it. It knows I created it just now. Harry told her. Her eyes widened. Really? That's amazing, she scoffed. She scurried off to her desk and write something down, and then she continued to check the other students. Nice snake, Draco complimented. Nice snake, Draco complimented. By the time class finished, almost everyone had turned their goblet into an animal. Ron tried, but the furthest he got was a dog, with the handle jutting out its stomach. After class was dismissed, the group traveled to the dining hall. After everyone ate a thoroughly greasy meal, they felt much better, and the hangover was almost gone. Everyone left the hall and headed into the common room to start their homework. Halfway through their homework, Parvati Patel went up to Draco, who was sitting with the others working on the mermaid homework. Is it true that the whole bunch of hickeys are on your neck? She asked, excited. Draco looked at Luna and gave her the stink eye. How do you know I have hickeys on my neck? Draco asked. Everyone knows by now. I heard Luna talked about it in potions. She said. Draco stood and looked at Luna. You talked about it in first period? So people knew before we went swimming? There was no reason to put makeup on me, and if other people knew, he exclaimed. Luna giggled. I just wanted to mess with you. I knew we were just going to swim today, so I knew people were going to find out eventually, so I talked about it to some of my other friends, Luna said. The group started to laugh hysterically. Draco was so pissed off, especially since he saw Harry laughing as well. What? You got something to say? You left these, Draco said, pointing to his neck. Harry immediately stopped laughing and blushed. They all heard a high-pitched squeal. I knew it! Parvati squealed. She ran off to her dorm, probably to tell Padme. I didn't know Star Wars was connected to this. Harry hid his face in his hands. Hermione rubbed his back. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I'm just surprised Dean and Seamus didn't tell everyone first, Ron joked. Draco was still standing up when Harry stood up as well. Draco was scared. He thought Harry was going to yell at him for outing them out. Harry turned to Draco. Instead of yelling at Draco, Harry surprised everyone. He grabbed Draco by the wrist, pulled him into a passionate kiss in front of everyone. Their group of friends whistled and hooted. Draco finally realized what was happening and wrapped his arms around Harry and kissed him back. They heard a couple of girls scream, some from excitement and some from anguish that Harry Potter was gay. The two separated and continued their work as if nothing happened. Once everyone finished their homework, they headed to their showers and went to sleep, exhausted from the swimming and excitement of the day. Yo! The gay shit is... What the fuck is this guy spelling? Is finally here! I was gonna say gay! Gay the meme! I mean that in all niceness.
3:30.
What? What time is it? Oh.
3:18.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Why do I have a sudden urge to go to the bathroom?
I don't know, it was just really loud and now it's quiet.
Yeah, because there's an ad. I can't skip an ad. I can skip it now. Okay, hopefully this one is shorter. The next morning, the gay train is here. Toot toot. I'm gonna not do any smut in this story. I feel it ruins the relationship, so I'ma just make intense kissing scenes. Yay! From Alex, or the author. That's what the author said. In bold. I'm so for it. The next morning, Harry and Draco avoided as much eye contact as possible. Harry pretended to sleep in just so he could get his shower after Draco was done with the bathroom. Regardless, the two ended up walking to the dining hall together, since Luna and Hermione wanted to talk to them about some new store at Hogsmeade. The group sat down and started to eat. The school owls flew in through the hatch and delivered the day's mail. Just like any other day, Harry watched the owls fly overhead. He missed Hedwig dearly. Oh, yeah. He's dead. Poor little owl. I just remembered. Hedwig died. A school owl dropped down a copy of the Daily Prophet. Harry picked it up and dreadfully read the front headline. Harry Potter is gay for a Malfoy? I hate that's how newspapers are. That's so true. Ugh. Draco looked over his shoulder and read the headline. He started to freak out. Who the hell told Daily Prophet? Harry exclaimed. He handed the page to Hermione. Look at it, he said. Hermione started to read aloud. Harry Potter's gay and he's in a relationship with Draco Malfoy. Harry Potter was reportedly seen by a good number of eyewitnesses accounts to be kissing Draco Malfoy in the 7th year common room. Professor McGonagall had created the area for our returning 7th years, so they were separated from the rest, and to create so-called house unity. The anonymous tipper said that a girl walked up to Mr. Malfoy and accused him of having hickeys all over his neck. Mr. Malfoy failed to deny such claims and instead outed Mr. Potter. Oh, this is just keep on digging the hole. Yep. This is going downhill too fast. In the moment, Mr. Potter stood up and French kissed him in front of the entire room. Was Harry?
Why did I look up for that?
Yeah. Was Harry Potter drugged with Amortiana?
I hope he was.
Or worse, was he under the Imperious Curse? This is Rita Skeeter giving you wild new news. Hermione finished. Draco had his head on the table, sulking. Boom! just knocked me out.
No, bitch.
Sulking from the article. Why the hell does everyone assume the worst? Wow, I kiss a bloke because I've developed a crush on him. Just because he's a Malfoy automatically means I've been put under some magical influence. Honestly. You'd think it's illegal to kiss someone now, Harry ranted. Draco only listened to a small portion of what he said. Harry didn't even seem to realize what he said. Draco rose his head from the table. You have a crush on me? No! Draco asked, more as a statement, really. Well, obviously I do. Why else would I kiss you in front of everyone? Harry exclaimed. Yeah, say it louder. Yeah, people in the back can't hear you. You know, like, say it to all the classrooms. We want to hear this. Like, he's, like, shouting this. You can tell because he's exclaiming. Ugh. He was still running on anger from the article. He was still mad that he was never allowed to have private things. Everything always had to be shared with the whole world through articles. And they even weren't correct. Draco looked down and shrugged. It doesn't matter. People just think I'm manipulating you, Draco said sadly. It was times like this when he became down. He finally thought people were accepting him, but he was wrong. People just looked at him as son of Lucius Malfoy instead of just Draco Malfoy. Lucius, the one with the bad hairline.
Lucius.
I mean, there's this thing called a widow's peak, and then there's things called just a bad hairline. He didn't have a widow's peak, he just had a bad hairline.
Flashlight in the middle of this couch.
I don't know. Can you take it out? The boy who had no choice. No, you know what? It doesn't matter. Hermione, Harry exclaimed. Let's give Arthur our evidence on Rita, shall we? He said. Hermione nodded, her hair bouncing. I've been wondering when we'd use that. I still have it in my trunk, Hermione said. She smiled maniacally. Ron was laughing. Can't wait to see the look on her face, he said. Draco looked at the three in confusion. What are you going on about? He asked. Hermione just... Wait, did you take out the flashlight?
Yeah.
Where is it? The red thing?
Yeah.
Huh, I never seen that before.
Oh, now you have.
No. What are you going on about? He asked. Hermione...
I just launched a water bottle.
Wow. Hermione just put a finger up to her mouth. You'll find out soon enough. After dinner, I'll send the information. She'll be locked up. The ministry doesn't take kindly to those who deceive, she said happily. Still confused, Draco just dropped it and finished his breakfast. The whole group then proceeded to go to their classes.
Whenever I came here, right?
Yes. Are they in your bag or in the bathroom?
No.
Did you check the bathroom?
I was just in the bathroom. And I haven't had them since I went to bed the first night here.
Is it in your bag?
No. But I can check.
Okay. Once class was over, everyone headed to the dining hall, ate quickly, and then rushed back to their dorms. From the front of the dining hall, Professor McGonagall watched the group leave quickly. They should be fine. I locked up the secret passageways, so there's nowhere unauthorized they can go, Minerva thought to herself. Everyone rushed into the common room and closed the door. The group congregated around the fire while Hermione grabbed her evidence. She came back with an envelope, a piece of parchment, a quill, and then some ink. She threw the envelope in on the table and pictures spilled out. Rita Skeeter is a unregistered animagus. No. She uses a quick quill to write her articles, which are known to be incorrect. And she wrote articles trashing other people who have no reason to be trashed on, Hermione said. Everyone took a photo and started to pass around the pictures of the certain hidden beetle. Hermione wrote down a note to Arthur. Took the photos and sealed them inside another envelope. Hermione walked over to the door and opened it. She called Crookshanks and put the letter in his mouth. I've been training him to become bringing letters to the Owler. He's brilliant once you train him, Hermione said. Crookshanks took the letter and ran out the door to the Owler. What?
There is a thief. You can't find your headphones?
Oh, I already found my headphones.
Well, then someone stole my bag. And I have 2 minutes before I leave. But if you find them, let me know.
Ouch, my leg. Anyways, she will be ruined, she giggled. She joined the group and they all talked about nonsense here and there. Somehow I steered a Death Eaters and the like. I gotta sit down now. Ouch. Malfoy, I've got a question for you. And don't take it the wrong way, but I think we all are curious. Why have you decided to change? Ron asked. I mean, you hated all of us, wished us death, basically. And after the war, you're a new person. How come? Draco twiddled his thumbs a little. It's hard living with Lucius Malfoy, he stated. The only time he held me was when I was a child, and I couldn't walk. He taught me from a very yearly age that I would only...
That doesn't make sense.
Meaning young. That I would only have to depend on him and my allies, because friends deceive you. He taught me to become the Malfoys. Every other rich blood house are superior over everyone else. He was a Death Eater and he despised Harry because he destroyed the Dark Lord. So when he lost power, he tried to regain it. He faked reform and basically raised me, saying that Harry Potter is a loser who is famous for nothing, and being told that from a young age will make you believe it's true. So when Harry saved me from the room of requirements, it dawned on me after so many years, without him, I'd be dead. Without him, I'd be raised in a constant fear of the Dark Lord living under my roof. I would probably experience the Crucius curse more than once. My mother told me she only married my father so her line would stay pure to please her parents. Now that my father is gone, I'm free to be friends with whoever I will let me, and I love whoever I want to love. Even if I don't produce a pure blood heir, Draco explained. What? Yeah. A life of constant fear of your own father is dreadful. I will. Draco finished on a low note. Everyone remained quiet. They never thought about how Lucius's actions could have affected Draco. Harry spoke up. I knew that what I was like to be raised up from fear. I spent 11 years of my life not knowing I was a wizard. My aunt and uncle were muggles, and they completely despised wizards. Said they were freaks. When I was young, my uncle Vernon would lock me up in a cupboard underneath the stairs, with a little latch. I always wore the oversized clothes of my cousin. I was beaten if I showed any magic or any brain power to begin with. I was treated like a maid. My aunt Petunia would shave my head because she didn't want to spend money on haircuts. But she would slap me when my hair was grown out the very next day. One time I even blew up at my aunt, and I was locked in the cupboard for a week, with only a small amount of water and no food. My cousin would regularly bring his friends over so they could use me as a punching bag. From all this abuse I went through, I began to hate myself, and I still do a little bit to this day. Harry said. He turned to Draco. I understand what it feels like to live in fear, and you shouldn't live in fear anymore, Harry concluded. Everyone remained quiet. Draco thought hard on what Harry said. He thought Harry grew up with a golden spoon in his mouth, but in reality it was a plastic one. I never knew you grew up like that. I could have thought the chosen one grew up in bliss. I'm sorry for saying all the things I did. Draco turned to Hermione and Ron. I'm sorry for all the rude names I called you and the horrid pranks I pulled. Draco apologized. It's all right. Sorry for punching you that one time. Hermione apologized awkwardly. And sorry for talking trash about you. Ron apologized. Unnerved by the awkward silence, Neville ran to his room and brought back a board and some pieces. How about we play some wizard's chess, yeah? Neville offered.
What you called. I'm sorry I missed it.
Ron smirked. All right. Who wants to go up against me? I need to change my shirt. Against me. I'll warn you. I've never lost, and I don't plan on it. Ron flaunted. Draco was a pretty avid player himself. I'll play you, but if I win, you'll have to dye your hair purple, Draco said as he held his hand out. Ron shook his hand. And if I win, you have to buzz all of yours off, Harry dared. Deal. Draco said. They set their pieces up and started the game. Sadly, 5 minutes later of playing, Draco won the game. Bloody hell! Ron cursed. Draco pulled his wand out and casted a hair-changing spell on Ron. Soon his hair went from red to a bright purple. The others roared in laughter. Didn't anyone tell you not to bet with a Slytherin? We always win in wizard's chess, Draco said sassily. Fortunately for Draco, the other 7th years were coming back from dinner, and some of them, monastericity, whatever that means, that was Ron's hair. People laughed at Ron. Soon enough, Ron joined in on the laughter and made the most of it. Everyone played a couple more games before and left off to bed. Draco finished his shower early and climbed into his bed. He heard Harry leave the bathroom and get dressed as well. What surprised him was instead of Harry climbing into his bed, he climbed into Draco's bed. Draco giggled. What are you doing? He laughed lightly. Harry wrapped his arms around Draco's waist and pulled him closer. Sleeping, Harry said. Draco blushed madly, but let Harry lay there. Soon the two fell asleep, spooning each other. Author's note. Fuck yeah, spooning Drarry is great. Love it. 10 out of 10. I'm so gay. Well, thank you, Alex, for that. We needed that, didn't we? Well, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you give it a big thumbs up. Also, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm at church right now in the bathroom, so I'm hiding from this. But I hope you enjoyed. Put on push notifications if you haven't yet, and I would like to see you soon. I know it's short, but I have church, and I have to do things with my life. I'm sorry, but school sucks sometimes. I hope you guys have a good day. Stay isolated because of COVID, and you know what I mean. Because, you know what happens in COVID. Also, she says goodbye, so that was pretty fun. And, let's see if she's still here, because I had to go put on a shirt. Ah! I didn't touch you! You want to say goodbye?
To the people?
Yeah.
Bye, people. see you next time.
See you next time, whenever that is. But probably in a month or so. But thank you guys so much. I accidentally got you. I'm just myself. I literally touched your tail. Didn't kick it. Nothing. Touched it, and then she's pissy at me. Well, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it very much. This one's going to be a little shorter because I'm going to be going to church soon, and I'll be all caught up. And I'll be doing some homework tonight, so tomorrow I'll be doing the scenario one, which I'm really excited about because they first caressed hands. And then at the end, I felt he went to bed sort of satisfied. And I was like, wait a minute. He catching feelings. You know what I mean. Sorry about that. I just had to say that. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for watching. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Stay indoors because of COVID. And you want loves, don't you, cat? Okay. Say hi, kitty. Hi. She just rubs on me. So, thank you guys for watching. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye-bye.